In 1815, the Earth suddenly unleashed its fury upon the unsuspecting denizens of a tropical paradise. Mount Tambora, a seemingly quiet mountain in the beautiful archipelagic nation of Indonesia, erupted with a force so immense that it caused a global cataclysm. Today, let's delve into the story of how one volcano plunged the world into darkness. Life in Sumba Island was tranquil, a lush paradise surrounded by turquoise waters and vibrant coral reefs. The island's volcanic soil made it a haven for agriculture, where farmers thrived on bountiful harvests of rice and coffee. Its people, known for their rich cultural traditions and intricate weaving, lived in harmony with nature, unaware of the catastrophe brewing beneath its surface. Deep within the bowels of the Earth, the volcano was preparing for the deadliest eruption in recorded history. Indonesia sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a major area in the Pacific Ocean basin known for its high volcanic activity. The Ring of Fire is a result of tectonic plate movements and subduction zones, where one plate is forced beneath another. This geological activity makes Indonesia home to more than 130 active volcanoes, more than any other country, and explains why the region experiences frequent eruptions.
The ash column from Mount Lowatobi has reached as high as 6.2 miles. Indonesia has close to 130 active volcanoes and sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is an area of high seismic activity atop various tectonic plates.
In fact, several of the largest eruptions in history, such as the 1815 eruption of Tambora, the 1883 eruption of Krakatoa, and the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, all occurred in what is now Indonesia. For years, magma rich in volatile gases accumulated beneath Tambora's surface, creating a massive chamber of molten rock under immense pressure. This magma, formed from the subduction of tectonic plates, became increasingly unstable as gases like water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide continued to expand. By April 1815, the chamber's pressure reached a critical threshold, priming the mountain for a catastrophic eruption unlike anything the world had ever seen. On April 10th, a deafening sound of explosion was heard up to 2,000 kilometers away across the ocean. Then, the mountain erupted with a force 10 times greater than the 1883 Krakatoa eruption. The blast sent ashes up to 43 kilometers away into the atmosphere, turning day into night. The sound of the explosion was the loudest ever recorded, approximately 300 decibels at the source, more than twice the threshold of human eardrums. Villages and the people living within a 100-kilometer radius of the mountain were obliterated. Around 71,000 souls were lost in a single, largest supervolcanic eruption in history. But that was just the beginning. An even larger scale of disaster followed. Months and even years after the initial eruption, the world suffered from extreme climate change and erratic weather patterns. The ash and sulfur dioxide from Tambora entered the stratosphere, forming a layer that blocked sunlight. Global temperatures dropped by an average of 3 degrees Celsius. What followed was the year without summer. In North America, frosts killed crops in midsummer. In Europe, snow fell in July, and relentless rains flooded fields. Food prices skyrocketed. Riots broke out in cities like Paris as desperate populations looted granaries. Livestock perished without adequate feed, and hunger became the norm. The darkened skies and eerie weather inspired creative works, such as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Lord Byron's haunting poem Darkness, reflecting the despair of a sunless world. In Asia, particularly in Indonesia and surrounding regions, the year without a summer brought devastation on an unprecedented scale. Ashfall ruined fertile lands, forcing survivors to flee famine-stricken villages. In China and India, the monsoon patterns collapsed, causing widespread famine and outbreaks of cholera. The eruption spurred early studies in climate science as people sought to understand why the weather had turned so unpredictable. Scientists began to recognize the profound effects of volcanic eruptions on global climate, notably sulfate aerosols and sulfur dioxide released into the atmosphere. The eruption released vast amounts of these compounds, leading to a temporary cooling of the Earth, an event known as volcanic winter. It caused crop failures, food shortages, and weather anomalies all over the world. The cooling caused by Tambora also spurred early discussions on how to quantify and model climate changes. While modern climate models did not emerge until the 20th century, the Tambora event motivated early attempts to understand the balance between solar radiation, atmospheric composition, and Earth's temperature. The worldwide change in weather patterns after the Mount Tambora eruption fueled further interest in a new field of science, meteorology, which studies weather and how large-scale events could alter regional climates. This laid the groundwork for more systematic and scientific approaches to understanding atmospheric conditions. Today, Mount Tambora stands as a reminder of Mother Nature's raw power. While the volcano is less active at present, scientists warn that other supervolcanoes like the Yellowstone caldera in United States, Taupo Volcanic Zone in New Zealand, and Lake Toba in Indonesia could erupt with equal devastation. The odds of another Tambora-sized eruption are low, but not impossible, which is why preparedness and monitoring are key to mitigating future disasters. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories about the world's greatest disasters.